Why do I enjoy Modern Warfare? Why do I still play Modern Warfare months into its release in spite of its issues and problems, and if you guys watch my streams, my constant complaining? It's sort of hard to put my finger on. It's sort of hard for me to express to you guys through a gameplay commentary why I do what I do, but I do want to try to put it into words that makes it maybe more understandable for people that wonder why I'm still so into the game and why I keep streaming it and making videos about it, and why do I care about it so much. Some of you might think, well, it's because it's his job, you know, he's been recently getting a lot of success with Modern Warfare videos, and that's why he's gonna keep doing it. But those of you that are not new to my channel know that I have discarded Call of Duty games in the past, and just games in general, like Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, Black Ops 4, and COD World War II, and Modern Warfare Remastered are games that mostly got the bottom end of my shoe on this channel. I had nice things to say about each of them, I gave them all a fair shot, but for the most part, they weren't for me, they weren't my thing, and so I cast them aside, I made fun of them, I made dramatic videos about why I'm never playing them or why they're not on my channel. Because yeah, I could have brought in a fan base of people that enjoy Battlefield 5, 1, COD World War II, Black Ops 4. Hell, I mean, I even had a little bit of a Rainbow Six Siege following that I cast aside because I stopped enjoying the game. And maybe this sounds unprofessional, but I feel like not enough YouTubers really employ this line of thinking, so I sort of try to do it myself. If I don't like something, I do not force myself to play it. Doesn't mean I won't get topics out of it, or I won't refer to it or make fun of it. It just means that I don't want to have my channel dwell on something that I do not personally enjoy. That way, when I do dwell on something, or I really have a lot of opinions about something, or I keep playing it, you guys know, well, Boom doesn't just do that for money, he does that if he's enjoying it, if he's interested in it, if he cares. So that's sort of the relationship I want to build, so hopefully I'm doing a good job, I don't know. And when it comes to Modern Warfare, yeah, I genuinely love it. And like I've said a ton of times, and I'll say it again here, it's the Call of Duty game that I consistently described to my fan base, to my followers, to my subscribers. Whenever somebody would say, what's your dream Call of Duty? Back when Call of Duty, you know, just a couple years ago, was sort of in the wind, it was all sci-fi advanced movement shooters, and then we had sort of a boring World War II game, and then Black Ops 4 was not my cup of tea. People just said, okay, Boom, then what do you want? You know, what do you want from Call of Duty? And I always would say, something like Ghosts in Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 1. I want big maps with interactability. I want lots of weapon customization. I want it to be set in modern times. Even things like night maps, like actual dark night maps, have been on my list of things I want in Call of Duty ever since Battlefield 4 introduced night maps years ago. Modern Warfare crosses so many things off my list. It has big sandbox game modes like Plunder and Ground War. It has complicated, messy maps with things that can be interacted with on them, mostly doors and light switches during the night maps. It's nothing crazy, but it's there, it's on my list. The best weapon customization I've seen in a AAA shooter, despite not being perfect, and I've done my fair amount of critiques on it, it's still very good and still very fun to play with, whether aesthetically or mechanically. It's fun to mess around with the weapon customization. But the big thing was I wanted non-linear, messy, old school style maps. You know, those sort of Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 2 style maps of Call of Duty's past. The way I put it last winter hit the nail on the head, and I can't come up with a better way to explain it. So basically, Modern Warfare gave me everything I was asking for, just not in the exact way that I wanted it. I think the way I described it back then was I wanted a steak and cheese sandwich. My buddy decided to make me a steak and cheese sandwich, but the steak wasn't done the way I liked, the cheese wasn't the kind I would use, and the bread was a little bit burnt. Does it scratch the itch? Oh, for sure. But do I wish it was a little bit higher quality? Yeah. And also back then I was saying, yeah, I'm gonna defend Modern Warfare because it just came out and the developers are, you know, they're doing holiday stuff. They can't like completely redo the game, so lay off of them. You know, and I said that if in a couple of months it doesn't get better, I'll start complaining. And you guys have seen my complaints, and now I get criticized for just complaining, whereas when the game came out, I was a shill. Yeah, I can't win. But what's keeping me coming back to Modern Warfare? Well, let's start with variety. Modern Warfare and its map design and weapon design and class customization mid-game, I am really able to play a lot of different ways in a single play session. Really, when it comes to Modern Warfare, I still love the fact that I could play Ground War, Gunfight, 6v6, 10v10, SND, Domination, Hardpoint, TDM. I don't know, maybe I'd play Battle Royale if I was bored enough. Now I can play Plunder, There's a lot of variety in Modern Warfare. You can do a lot in one play session. Do I want to use an M13 like an SMG? Do I want to build it for really long range? And even though it doesn't work that well, I can make it work. I can have a fun game with it. Do I want to put a sniper scope on my AK? Do I want to use the lever action like a cowboy? Do I want to make it all tactical? What do I want to do? How do I want to play? What do I want my gun to look like? That is fun. And even though I'm not a fan of seasonal ranks, the fact that I'm constantly progressing and unlocking new cosmetics just every several matches is nice, and I've gotten some really good cosmetics that I will use until the end of the game's life cycle. And the fact that the battle passes pay for themselves if I decide to no-life the game for a whole season is really awesome. On top of that, the maps. The fact that in a play session I can play Grozny Raid, Arklov Peak, Hackney Yard, Ramaza, Crash, Backlot, Shipment, and Rust, all just in one playlist like Hardpoint, that's really fun to me. Each of those maps plays differently, and while I don't like every map I just listed, it's better than in Call of Duty World War II or Black Ops 4, where I was at the best indifferent, at the worst angry, and my anger usually came from my indifference. It came from the fact that there's nothing to say about the map. It was a boring map. My universal response to any questions about Call of Duty World War II's map design or Black Ops 4's is, meh, I like 2 or 3 in each of the games, it's fine. Whereas in Modern Warfare, it's not so much that I like every map, it's that every map feels different. It's its own experience. I think Ramaza is incredibly annoying, and I often feel overwhelmed on Ramaza because of the amount of places people can be. But Hackney is similar, but I don't have that overwhelming feeling. Visibility's better, there's less places to be, and I think it flows better when it comes to objective game modes like Hardpoint, Domination, or Headquarters. That keeps me mentally stimulated, because even if I don't like the map, I have to adjust and adapt to it. I have to try my best to be good at Shipment, and then be good at Ramaza, and then be good at Hackney, and then I have to be good at Grozny, and then I have to, play Crash, and play Crash the way you play Crash, which is lock down the buildings. Make sure you have the buildings on lockdown. Lamp, pharmacy, restaurant, electronics store, apartments. Make sure you have those down, and then you get to win. Some maps are about controlling lanes, some maps are about controlling buildings, and again, that's more mentally stimulating to me than whatever the hell we got with the previous Call of Duty games. I think the advanced movement COD games should have had larger maps, but I kind of let them off the hook now because the maps weren't the point. The movement, the gunfights were the point of those games, and I can sort of accept that now. Even though Infinite Warfare, Advanced Warfare, and Black Ops 3 do have a handful of maps I consider to be pretty good, but in a boots-on-ground Call of Duty game, everything matters. A ladder's placement, how tall a staircase is, how high a piece of cover is, all of that becomes way more important when you can't just jump and wall run and bounce off of things, because it funnels you. Everything is a funnel. Whether it's a big open lane, or a tight passageway, or a stairway, or a ladder, it is funneling you. It's putting you in places that are hard to escape from, and so the map design matters more when you can't just fly past it. That's why the remade maps in Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3 didn't do much for me, like High Rise, Resistance, and Raid. Those maps were in Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, and Infinite Warfare, but they didn't have the same tone, they didn't have the same feeling, because, I don't know, I was just flying past them. It didn't really matter. The cover placement and height advantages matter less, and so, who cares? But now if we talk about Modern Warfare on a base mechanical level, the game feels brilliant. I don't think anybody's gonna disagree with me on this. The act of moving, sprinting, sliding, proning, jumping, aiming, shooting, killing, reloading, all of that feels fluid as hell. If we just judged games by how they look and feel, Modern Warfare would win a Nobel Prize, and I fully stand behind that statement. It feels good to aim down sight and shoot somebody, and then sprint to an area, and then start tack sprinting to go faster, and then slide into cover and mount that cover. It's so good. Climbing a ladder and then pulling out your handgun and shooting at people below you, and then you hold a button and you just slide down the ladder. It feels good. The only two things I could add to Modern Warfare to make it feel more fluid is allow me to shoot with one hand if I have a light enough gun like an AR or an SMG or a pistol. Allow me to shoot with one hand while I'm high mantling something, and also, I really want to be able to shoot while sprinting. Yeah, shotguns would be annoying, but I think it should be wildly inaccurate. I think it should actually increase the spread of your pellets just for balance sake on shotguns, but everything else, I don't know, I thought it'd be cool because you can reload while aiming down sight, but you can't shoot and run at the same time. I don't know about that. But I think it could speed up gameplay and encourage some more fast-paced, quick-draw gunfights, and I don't know, I just think it'd be cool. Also, it makes a little bit more realistic sense, and that's another thing I want to talk about. Modern Warfare has a lot of things that are believable. They are realistic-esque. They make sense when you look at them. The way scopes move, the way lasers work, the way the game is, the way bullets interact with the environment, and how much dust and shit gets kicked up in my face and then I can't see anything and I lose a gunfight because somebody's hiding in the dust that my gun kicked up that I had the nerve to fire. It might be annoying, but it makes visual sense. I don't feel like I'm playing a weird, stiff, stunted shooter. It feels more fluid and natural. It feels alive. And that is echoed in the animations, the audio quality. It's echoed in all the little details, like sometimes when your gun falls out of your character's hands and hits the ground, it'll land on its top barrel and rotate before falling over. There's little weird details in this game that are just phenomenal. Modern Warfare has a feel and a tone and a pacing to it, and a visual quality that I really appreciate. The game, to me, is a treat to look at, which is always a good start when it comes to liking a game. If I have to sort of fight the aesthetic mentally where it's like, this doesn't look that interesting, it looks boring, it looks ugly. No, Modern Warfare is a pretty game that is chocked full of detail and love. And the ability to customize your experience and the amount of experiences you can have, it is a really solid game. And that's also why it is a heartbreaking game. I love Modern Warfare. I look forward to streaming it. I look forward to getting gameplay and uploading it. But the game constantly pisses me off. Because although the game is good, the overall experience is not. My matches since the last update have been terribly laggy. Bugs everywhere. Challenges not tracking. Spawns that are the worst I've ever seen in a AAA shooter. They put Battlefield Hardline's TDM spawns to shame. Overused weapons like the MP5 and M4 that I know require very little for my opponents to kill me with, and that I don't want to have to use every game in order to do well. And a matchmaking system that sometimes feels skill-based, like it wants me to fight enemies that are as good as my friends and I, and other times it feels like it just wants me to babysit 5 other people that are worse than me. On my stream today, I threw a fit. I had a long-winded rant. My throat still hurts from it. Because it was so frustrating for me all play session to be thrown into losing games where my team is unable to win gunfights and unwilling to play the objective. When I am put in lobbies like that and my connection's not very good, it tells me that the game is forcing me into lobbies it thinks I need to carry, or that has enemies that it thinks are at my skill level, and just sacrifices my connection quality. The fact that when I'm playing Modern Warfare solo, without streaming, I get into lobbies that are 70 millisecond ping, 80 millisecond ping, or just incredibly unstable servers that go anywhere from 40 to 80 in like half a second, just constantly. It can't keep track of my ping. Either that ping counter is still broken, or the matchmaking system is ultimately failing the game. I would say 1 out of 20 games, I have teammates that are at my level or better than me. And sometimes the only reason they're doing better than me is because I say, fuck it, I'm gonna do bad this game. And I just want to use a weird gun. I want to try out this weird scope. I want to try out this other thing. I want to use the crossbow. I want to use a combat knife. And I just want to do that, and that's the only reason. If I pull out a half-decent rifle with a half-decent set of attachments, hell, a naked rifle, and I just do decent, I end up on top of my team, and that doesn't make sense. That doesn't check out for me. That doesn't track how consistently that has to happen. So the game, in my opinion, is fantastic. It crosses so many boxes, and while I don't agree with everything, I don't agree with the lack of visibility, I don't agree with all the map design, I don't like the spawns, weapon balance can be doo-doo, some of the customization options you can use are pointless, and sometimes I wonder, why do weapon perks take up an attachment slot? Things like that. I don't agree with everything in the game. But it sucks because I think it's a good game, a fun game, a game I want to play, a game I want to recommend to people, but the experience of playing it is dog shit. And then, that's not even talking about how Infinity Ward doesn't seem to want to listen to us. We still haven't had the minimap changed, Dead Silence and Amplified did not become perks. I'm starting to see more and more people just give up on their feedback because they're just being blatantly ignored. And so yes, Modern Warfare is a game that has my attention because it is, as a piece of software, exactly what I want. Its execution, however, is terrible. And that's when you get video games that are good, that somehow deliver a mediocre to terrible experience half of the time you try to play it. I don't mind a slower, campier Call of Duty with more head glitch spots and windows and doors than I know what to do with. I don't mind that. I think every Call of Duty should be different, otherwise it doesn't warrant being an annual franchise, as if it did anyway. But if you're gonna make a Call of Duty like that, Infinity Ward, Activision, you have to do it right.
On target. Good hit.
This game's a heartbreak for me. I love it, but there's so much wrong with what's happening with it. And that's why I didn't want Battle Royale. Not because Battle Royale's bad, or not because I don't like it. Because this game doesn't need another iron in the fire. Because now, instead of this game being a solid, good product, it's just a big project. And that's not a great feeling. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you when I see you guys. Goodbye.